Here's a quick overview of sanding from Laughing Loon. Use a single cut file to sharpen your scraper. Mirror the angle of the existing bevel. The edge should feel sharp. Use different shaped scrapers to totally remove the glue from the wood surfaces. Here I'm removing hot glue dots that were used to clamp strip edges together. Hold the handle of the scraper high to knock the dots off. If the handle of the scraper is held low as it's normally used, the scraper blade would bounce off the dots and gouge the wood surface. Once the hot glue is removed, hold the handle of the scraper low and scrape all the carpenter's glue off. Get every little bit off of every strip. Take the time to remove all the carpenter's glue so it doesn't gum up your sandpaper. I use 60 grit sandpaper on my random orbital sander. I use a medium hard backing pad on the sander to create a smooth uniform surface which follows the natural fair surface of the wood strips. 60 grit will level the surfaces quickly, keeping the hull fair. I look carefully to see the transition from a rough to a smooth surface. This guides my sander as I work from left to right. I hold the sander over the center of the sanding disc, which allows the sanding disc to follow the curving hull surfaces, naturally maintaining a fair hull. I use a slower disc speed and extra care near edges. On broader surfaces, I increase the disc speed. Disc speed and grit will cut more uniformly with light pressure than with heavy or varying pressure. Holding the sander lightly against the surface will keep the disc speed higher and allows the sanding disc to follow the curved surfaces easily. I move the sander in small circular patterns to avoid straight line strokes, which tend to create flat line cuts. After sanding the entire hull with 60 grit, I wet the wood thoroughly with a soaking sponge to raise the grain. This also reduces the 60 grit cut marks. Once the wood is dried, I sand with 120 grit. Again, looking very carefully at the wood to remove all 60 grit cut marks. I go over the 120 grit sanded surface with a damp sponge to reveal any remaining cut marks. I mark any remaining blemishes with a pencil and sand them out with 120 grit. Then I sand the whole hull with 220 grit and I'm ready to fiberglass the hull. For more information on my strip building techniques, see my shop tips pages at laughingloon.com.